Why America's ultra-wealthy don't keep cash, they live on loans. Take someone like Elon Musk, you won't find much personal cash sitting in his bank accounts. Instead, he pledges his stock holdings as collateral to banks, takes out loans against them, and uses that borrowed money to cover his expenses. What happens when he needs more? He simply borrows again, using his ever-appreciating stock as an endless credit line. Why does this work? Because the US stock market, despite short-term fluctuations like the dips in 2000, 2008, or 2020, has consistently trended upward over the long run. Each downturn has been followed by a sharp recovery. As long as you don't over-leverage yourself, your stock portfolio essentially becomes your personal ATM, a perpetual source of liquidity. There's another key reason: currency depreciation. Major currencies like the US dollar, the renminbi, the yen, and the euro tend to depreciate at an estimated 10% to 20% annually. This means if you leave cash in the bank, its value erodes by roughly 15% each year. When you take out a loan, that borrowed money also depreciates. Imagine borrowing the equivalent of 10 ounces of gold. By the time you repay the principal with interest, the money you return may only be worth 9 ounces. You effectively gain by repaying with cheaper dollars. This is why the financially savvy prefer financing their lifestyles through debt. In the US, there's an added tax advantage. If someone like Musk received a salary or dividends, the money would be taxed twice, first at the corporate level, then again as personal income. The top marginal income tax rate is high, so after passing through 2 layers of taxation, only a fraction of the original amount would end up in his pocket. Instead, by pledging $10 million in stock and borrowing $2 million against it, he gets tax-free liquidity. He can spend freely, and as his stock portfolio continues to grow, he can repeatedly borrow more. It becomes a self-replenishing cycle: spend, reborrow, repeat. Why? Because the Federal Reserve continues to inject liquidity into the system, elevating asset prices and reinforcing the idea that US stocks always go up. This system also explains how figures like Donald Trump, with billions in assets, may pay only a few $100,000 in federal income tax annually. Their daily lives, homes, purchases, expenses are funded by loans or owned through corporate structures, minimizing taxable personal income. As a result, being poor in America is expensive. If you're an employee, your paycheck is hit hard by taxes before it even reaches you. You then pay a premium for basic services like renting at high rent-to-price ratios, while the wealthy invest in appreciating assets like real estate. The richer you are, the lower your cost of living becomes; the poorer you are, the more you pay relative to your means. That's why life for the average American is so challenging. It's expensive to be poor, while being rich is not only easier, it's systematically incentivized.